Hi everybody, it's Daphne and you're very welcome back to spend some time with me today. I thought that today I would do a slightly different video, and this is something that I've been thinking about for a little while, and this is about my third or fourth time to try and film this today, and every time that I went to do it something happened. So I'm about 4 hours later filming than I had intended. So the light isn't great. I've got a light here to my right and I've got some natural light coming in, but it's evening time and yeah, it's getting a bit murky, but anyway, that's beside the point, so just excuse if it's a little bit dull or grainy. So I've been thinking a lot about the kinds of inspirations and influences that I've had on myself in terms of my makeup and in terms of the type of clothes I like to wear and just style in general. And it really got me thinking, because I have some very specific people that are icons to me, and quite a few of them coincidentally were very famous in around the 1950s, but there are some people today who kind of channel the same kind of style, and I'm sure that you know who I'm talking about. It's a lot of the Hollywood greats, particularly for me, Grace Kelly, Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor, Sophia Loren, to name but a few. And then there's a few modern day muses, if you like Olivia Palermo. I know she's not an actress as such, but she's quite an influencer. Also Blake Lively, and there's several other newer and younger girls who kind of channel a similar style. But I thought that today I might talk particularly about Grace Kelly, and if it's something that you would enjoy, I thought I might do a little series, if that's what you'd like to see. So you can let me know in the comments section if you'd like me to do a little series on particularly golden Hollywood actresses who've had a lasting influence on our makeup and our style choices in the 21st century. So I'm going to first of all talk about Grace Kelly, because to me, I think she was a big influence on me, and I never even realised it when I was a child, because a lot of the time I would spend Saturday afternoons with my mother, and we would watch old movies, black and whites or the musicals. BBC Two in the 70s used to show a matinee on a Saturday, and it was usually an old film. Some of them were specifically American and some of them were some British films, and some were the musicals. But it was very special time that I spent with my mother, and you know, when I watch these films again now, it brings me back, and I remember those times very, very fondly. I treasure those memories. So I didn't realise it, as I say, that some of these beautiful ladies were influencing me. It was in my subconscious, I suppose, that they were always so beautifully groomed, and their makeup was perfect, and their clothes were beautiful, and they were quite, even though they were elegant and sophisticated, they were quite sassy. So, you know, strong women. And I loved particularly Grace Kelly, and probably that whole fairy tale aspect of her life, that she was an ordinary girl. I know she was an actress, but she wasn't royalty, but she became a princess. And I suppose as little girls, we all want that little bit of magic and romance in our lives. So I have a book that, well, I've researched a little bit about it, but I've had this book for quite a while. I don't know if I put the date on it. No, I normally date my books, but I've had this for a few years, and it's called A Touch of Grace, How to Be a Princess the Grace Kelly Way. And it's written by CindyDe. So that's it there. And there's a beautiful picture of Grace Kelly on the front. And I have, you can see I have marked some pages. Excuse me. Grace Kelly was just stunning in every way. Absolutely stunning. She had beautiful hair, beautiful skin, perfect bone structure, and the proportions on her face were just perfect. She had style, sophistication, elegance, and she was tall, so she was athletically built, very slim, and she just, to me, seemed perfect in every way. I'm sure that behind closed doors, as everybody's life, has always little troubles along the way, but there's a picture of Grace in her Hollywood heyday. I'm sorry there's a little reflection on it there, but I just look at that picture. I mean, her hair is so simple, her makeup is so simple, but she's just stunning. And then another picture, excuse me, that was from her heyday. Yes, here we are here. The little marks that I put on the book aren't working so well. Another beautiful picture of her. Look at that. Slightly, the hair is styled differently. You know, she's a bolder lip, but she's just stunning. So those pictures we all are familiar with, but Grace Kelly's influence has stretched from the 1950s to the present day. And when you think about it, she was only 52 when she died. She was born in 1929 and she died tragically in 1982. And when she married Prince Rainier in, I think, 1956, the whole world was watching. And in fact, the dress that she wore very much influenced the dress that Kate Middleton wore when she married her prince, Prince William, in 2011. And remember that she also was what they call a commoner. So again, you have that fairy tale aspect. And she, I think, channels that kind of sophistication and style today. And she is very much photographed and in the public eye, as was William's mother, Princess Diana. Of course, she was another beautiful, beautiful woman who channeled that kind of style. But Grace, as I say, was such an influencer, probably even without even realising it. And I was looking up the kind of products that she would have used, the brands she would have used, and how she achieved her signature style. And in the 1950s, having a very well hydrated face, skin on the face, and very plump and moisturised looking was one of the most important things, apparently. So ladies often would use powder rather than a liquid or a cream foundation, and that's what she chose to do. Her makeup tended to be very simple and natural looking, but she was so beautiful. She really didn't need very much. She would wear a very natural brow. It was quite strong, but you know, a very natural brow. Her eye looks were generally one shadow. She tended to like greys and pastels. She didn't really wear liner under her bottom lid, but she definitely, for evening time and for a more glamorous look, she would wear some liner on her top lid, but not really close to her lash line. Of course, she would wear mascara, a little bit of blush just on the apples of her cheeks, and on maybe her forehead and the tip of her nose and her chin, just where the sun would hit you. So I suppose in a way that was like, you know, what would you say? Leading into bronzing. I can't think of the word, but you know, not bronzing, contouring. Bronzing, yes, bronzing, not contouring. To give that lovely sun-kissed look. She would wear in the daytime a light or a darker pink. Pink tended to be her lipstick shade. Whereas for the evening time, she would go for a darker, maybe a slightly more berry tone, or possibly a red. But if she wore a red lip, she would tone down the eye look to keep in keeping with that. And I think those pictures that I showed you, if I see if I want this one in particular, it's probably a more evening look, but you can see that the eye look is very simple and her lips are stronger. I'll have to see if I can find that other, because I took the marker out. There's another evening look, and you can see there again the strong lip, the defined brow, and a very simple pared down eye look. I love her top in that. There's another beautiful evening look. She was obviously at an award ceremony or something, because she's wearing, I think it's the same dress, just with the wrap on it. Who is she with in that? That is with William Holden at the Oscars. But this, you can see that, again, a strong lip and a pared back eye look. That original picture that I showed you, this one here, although it is quite a strong lip, as I suppose it's more of an evening look. I'll find a picture of her of a daytime look, but look at that, it's just so beautiful and so simple and elegant. And I suppose when we think about the films that she starred in well, to me, the ones that come to mind are Rear Window. I think that was my absolute favourite of hers. Well, that would tie with High Society. But in Rear Window, it was, you know, a Hitchcock thriller, and it was such, there were so few characters in it that she was a very strong presence in the film. And she played, I think, did she play a journalist, fashion journalist? No, she had some kind of fashion related job, and her clothes were just beautiful. And in fact, I think that picture is from that movie where she wears you know, the black top and the beautiful skirt. She's just stunning in that movie, but also in High Society, and her clothes in that were just gorgeous. The other one that I love that she is in is Dial M for Murder, another Hitchcock movie. So she was a favourite of Alfred Hitchcock's. I just have a few notes written down here so I don't forget anything. Apparently her favourite brands at the time were Max Factor, Revlon, Elizabeth Arden, Helena Rubinstein. Actually, that's a name we don't hear very often anymore, but the other brands we still have access to. And when she became a princess, she favoured Dior, Givenchy and Chanel. She loved Dior clothes apparently. But today there are lipsticks that are, I suppose, in homage to her. Nars have a lipstick called Grace. Now, I don't have it, but Charlotte Tilbury has one called Amazing Grace, and it is a pink, and it's a matte, and apparently matte was the type of lipstick that she would have worn. So it's a lovely pink. I'll just swatch it here. So that's it there. It's coming off pinky peach on camera, but it's actually pinker in real life. So when I saw this one by Charlotte Tilbury, and again, look at the packaging, it's very old Hollywood. When I saw that, I just thought, oh, Grace Kelly, I have to have it. I love that lipstick. But when she wore, as I say, when she wore a red lip, she would pare back her eye look. So she would go for greys and neutrals and pastels. So I was looking through my own stash, and I was thinking, well, something like maybe the Naked Basics 2, which, I'll cover the mirror, has a lot of, you know, nudes and neutral colours. And I think you could create very easily a one shadow look with that palette. She liked grey, so maybe one of these two shades here would be something that she would favour. Also, the Too Faced Natural Eyes, I think, might be something that she would possibly like to use, because again, there's neutrals. They're a little bit more shimmery, but possibly she would like to use a palette, something like that. And another palette that I thought she might like would be the Tarte Tartelette. There's a big mirror on this, so let's see. There's some pastels and there's a lot of neutrals in there as well. So very easy to recreate a Grace Kelly look with something along those lines. I think if she was to wear a foundation, it might be something like Chanel. And my Chanel is the Lift Lumière, which I love. I love that foundation. It's pricey, so I use it sparingly, which I suppose I shouldn't really. It's like keeping things for good, isn't it? You know, keeping things for good use or good wear. We shouldn't, because every day is special. But if she was going for a powder look as opposed to a foundation, I'm sorry, I'm reaching forward, the MAC Skin Finish might be a lovely light look. And I've actually done that myself, where I'm running out, so I do my skincare and then I put a little powder on, and it gives a nice finish to the skin. As I said, she liked to use peachy pinky blush tones, so a Clinique Cheek Pop, possibly in Melon Pop, might be an option to create a Grace Kelly look, or MAC Peachy Keen, which is a lovely peachy colour, pinky peachy colour, and again, very subtle. To go with the one shadow look, she might have worn a little bit of eyeliner, but not overdone, not in the way, say, that Audrey Hepburn had that statement eyeliner look, as did Sophia Loren. But Grace Kelly's would have been a little bit more subtle. So maybe something like, this is a Lancôme eyeline pencil. I see what it's in, just 01 Noir. I don't think it's just Le Crayon Khôl, a Lancôme one. Sometimes she would wear a liquid liner, and this one is just an Essence one. It's just Essence liquid eyeliner. I think it's waterproof, and it's very easy to use. It's a nice little, it's a small little applicator and quite easy to control. Of course she would have worn mascara. That would have been a typical look. So I would imagine she would have gone for something like Chanel. So again, it's my tiny little sample of Le Volume de Chanel, to give that lovely polished look. And for her brow, I would imagine she would fill in a little bit. I have my NYX brow pencil, and then maybe set it with, actually this is a recent purchase of mine, and it's the little tiny sample, well it's not a sample, it's deluxe sample size of Gimme Brow. And these are available, you can buy them at benefit counters. They're small sizes. So this was €12 as opposed to 26. So it's the tiny little mascara type wand, and I actually love this because you actually don't really need to fill in too much because it has the little fibres in it. And then I have some lipsticks that I thought might be Grace Kelly-ish. I know I showed the Charlotte Tilbury one, but here's another option, and it's the Milani number 26 Nude Crème, and it's a lovely natural. It's probably going to pull more brown. I'll put it with the Amazing Grace. It's slightly more toffee-ish. That's it there, the one on the top. So they might be sort of daytime options. Then I imagine if she was going to wear a more definite look for evening time, this one is a Chanel, and it's called Marie. It's number 430. And it's definitely, it's not a bright red, but it's definitely a darker, more definite shade. It's actually coming off quite red on camera, but it's to me it doesn't look, it looks more berryish than bright red. So Grace Kelly's influence didn't stop just at makeup, because if you think about the sort of clothes she wore, they were so elegant. She loved, for kind of more formal occasions, a nice dress. And in the 1950s they wore those beautiful dresses that were waisted and had the full skirts. But she also wore a slightly more fitted dress that were maybe belted, and she'd have a little short jacket over that. And for casual wear, she would regularly be seen in, like, I suppose, like cigarette type pants, or slacks of if you like, for want of a better word, with maybe a nice crisp white shirt and loafer type shoes. And in fact she had a bag that was styled specifically for her by Hermès, and it's the Kelly bag, and I think it's still available today. I did have a picture of it somewhere, but I don't have it to hand. So when you think about it, her influence has stretched down through the years. She would have been, I think, 88 this year. Am I right? She was born in 1929, so she possibly would have been, it would have been 87 at the moment. And she's been dead for such a long time, 35 years. And when you think, it was so tragic that she died at such a young age. And her jewellery as well, if you think about it, her jewellery was very simple. She tended to wear pearls, a string of pearls, or pearl earrings. Her jewellery was never overdone, and her hair was always beautifully styled, with those kind of, you know, the curls that, I suppose, how they were set with, were they called pin curls? They were set very, very particularly, or like in that first photograph that I showed you, where her hair was slightly less set looking. I'll see if I can find that again. This one here, where it's slightly less set. It's a better way to see it there. So you can see it looks like, kind of like a bob. that is just turned out at the end, but so glossy and shiny. So, like I say, she would have been one of the big influences on me when I was growing up, and I didn't even realise it. I aspired, I suppose, to her elegance, her grace, and the fact that she was so ladylike. I thought she was absolutely beautiful, and it's lovely to know that her influence is still felt today in makeup and in fashion. I would love to have one of those Hermès bags, or even a bag style in that kind of style. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it's quite practical as well when you think about it, because if you look it up, you'll see it's like they're quite a large bag, and you just wear it over your wrist. I wish I don't have my phone with me, so I would have pulled up a picture. And I'm no good at inserting things. I'm still learning to do basic things. And I'm sorry, you'll have to forgive me for being inadequate when it comes to IT, because I really, really am. I have to, when I need to do anything that's important, I have to get my children to show me how to do it. But when I need to know how to do something, if they're not there, I will find it out. So I thought maybe in one of my next videos I might do a Grace Kelly inspired look. And a disclaimer, I'm not saying I look like Grace Kelly or anything like that. It's just, I love the way she wore her makeup. I love the way she styled her hair, and I love the clothes she wore. So if you think you would like to see something like that, or if you think you would like me to continue to do this little series, mentioning and talking about some of the other beautiful actresses that I've mentioned, like Audrey Hepburn, Elizabeth Taylor, Marilyn Monroe, Sophia Loren, Vivian Leigh, and then some of the more modern actresses that we're familiar with nowadays. I'd love to know if you'd be interested in seeing that kind of a little series. So thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a lovely evening, and I will talk to you very soon in the next video. So take care. Bye bye.